All right, you YouTube whippersnappers, listen up. Before I was Granny Annie making the world's best apple pie, I was Antoinette. But the CB handles they gave me, well, we'll get to that. For 18 years, I wasn't navigating grandkids to soccer practice. I was navigating 40 tons of Detroit steel down I-80 in a blizzard, with a nutjob in a Trans Am trying to cut me off. And I lived to tell the tale. You think trucking is hard now? Try doing it in 1983, when the only GPS was a dog-eared Rand McNally Atlas, and the only thing scarcer than a decent cup of coffee west of the Mississippi was another woman's face in a truck stop. They'd see me climb down out of the cab, all 5 foot nothing of me, and the whole diner would go quiet, like I'd just announced I was from Mars. And that was just the start of the nonsense. My first solo long haul? Portland to Philly. I'm greener than grass, but I've got my dad's old lucky cap, smelled like diesel and hope. Second. Night out, somewhere in the godforsaken emptiness of Wyoming, my rig just gives up the ghost. Coughs, sputters, dies. Dead silent. Middle of the night, not a streetlight for 50 miles. Just the sound of the wind whipping across the plains and coyotes. Now, a lot of guys would have panicked. Not me. I had a toolbox, a flashlight, and a sheer stubborn streak that could bend metal. Took me 3 hours by that flickering light, but I found the problem: a busted fuel line. Fixed it with a piece of pen casing and a hose clamp. Got my hands so dirty the grease didn't fully come out for a week. Made my delivery on time too. The dispatcher's voice on the phone when I checked in? Priceless. He thought I'd have been calling from a payphone, crying for a tow. But surviving the truck was one thing. Surviving the people? That was a whole other ballgame. See, the road back then, it wasn't all honky-tonk angels and friendly waitresses. There were characters. I had a run-in with a lot lizard with a heart of gold who saved my bacon from a sleazy broker. I learned to play a mean hand of spades at a table full of teamsters who could curse in 3 languages. And I once had to persuade a couple of knuckleheads trying to siphon my diesel in a St. Louis yard that this little lady kept a mean Louisville slugger right by the driver's seat. People ask me, weren't you scared? Lonely? Heck yeah, sometimes. You'd lie in that sleeper berth, listening to the rain on the roof and wonder what you were doing with your life. But then you'd see a sunrise over the Rockies that'd make you want to cry. Or you'd deliver toys to a warehouse before Christmas and know some kid was going to get their wish because of you. That stuff, it gets in your blood. It's a freedom you can't bottle. And then there was the incident in '89 at a truck stop called the Iron Skillet outside Tulsa. That's where things got wild. Let's just say it involved a misunderstanding, a misplaced load of exotic zoo animals, and a state trooper named Earl who was not amused. I saw guesses about tigers, monkeys. One of you thought it was a gator, bless your heart. But no, the star of our little drama was an emu named, get this, Reginald. And let me tell you, Reginald was a diva with feathers. All right, rewind to '89. I'm hauling what's on the manifest as specialised agricultural equipment. Paperwork was thicker than my Rand McNally, all sealed up fancy. Pickup was smooth, a little warehouse outside San Diego. They loaded a bunch of custom-built vented crates, heard some shuffling, a few weird squawks, but I minded my own business. Rule number 1 of the road: sometimes you don't want to know. Shoulda known. Rule number 2: If the loading guys look more like zookeepers than gear jammers, you're probably in for a weird Tuesday. Made it through Arizona, New Mexico, no sweat. Cruising into Oklahoma, I pull off I-44 for fuel and a hot shower at the Iron Skillet. I'm headed inside to settle up when I hear it. Thud. Scrape. Squawk. Now, that was not a normal truck noise. That was a deeply offended, very large bird noise. My blood runs cold. I whip around, and in the dim yellow light of the yard, I see it. The side door of one of my custom crates is hanging open. And standing there, looking down its long beak at a puddle like it's personally insulted, is Reginald. 6 feet of confused, flightless bird, just stretching his legs in the parking lot of a truck stop. I'm standing there thinking, OK, Annie, don't panic. It's just a giant ostrich thing in Oklahoma at 3 a.m. I start creeping toward him, real slow, talking sweet like you would to a nervous colt. Hey there, big fella. Let's get you back in your nice cozy box, huh? Reginald was not having it. He looked at me, let out this god-awful booming drum sound from his chest, and took off. Not a run, a stroll. A leisurely... But that, my friends, is a story for next time. Smash that subscribe button and hit the bell, because next week I'm spilling the tea on the Great Oklahoma Zoo caper. Let's just say you haven't lived till you've tried to convince a confused emu to get back in its crate at 4 in the morning. Until then, keep the shiny side up and the dirty side down. This is Granny Annie signing off. And remember, the road might be long, but it's always worth the ride. Comments are open. Tell me your wildest work stories. Let's see if you can keep up with this old trucker.